STRINOVA. If you haven't heard about this game yet, be prepared, because you're about to start hearing about it a whole lot more, as STRINOVA is a new and immensely popular third-person shooter game that is sweeping the internet. Releasing on November 21st, there's a lot to look forward to in STRINOVA. If you're looking for a new free-to-play game to entertain you for hours on end, then consider giving STRINOVA a try if you enjoy this video. I need to mention that this video is the first of 2 videos that I will be releasing for STRINOVA so far. These 2 videos were meant to be one video, but I started to run out of time. In fact, I'm speaking this sentence almost exactly 26 hours before the release of STRINOVA. So, if any of the wording in this video sounds weird, or if there are some loose ends, please leave any questions that you may have in the comments below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Any information that I deem necessary for this video that I might have missed will be in the pinned comment below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The general premise of STRINOVA is just the same as any other shooter game, but with a unique twist. You can turn from a 3-dimensional character into a 2-dimensional paper character with a much smaller hitbox and increased mobility potential. It is important to mention that the characters in STRINOVA are called super strings. As of right now, STRINOVA has 4 game modes. These game modes are called Escort, Demolition, Team Deathmatch, and Team Arena. These game modes mirror other shooter games and are bundled into sort of an all-in-one package, if you will, filled with hot anime girls and handsome anime guys. What more could you possibly want in a game? In the main menu of the game, there are 6 tabs: the Dormitory tab, the Agents tab, the Season tab, the Play tab, the Career tab, and the Store tab. Most of these are self-explanatory, but I will briefly explain all the tabs just to cover absolutely everything that can be covered. The Dormitory tab is where you can form bonds with superstrings that you create oaths with. Oaths allow you to gain rewards from the superstring that you have an oath with. You can give your oath-bound superstring gifts to increase your oath level, or you can play a match after visiting the superstring in their dorm to increase your oath level. Each time you increase your oath level, you gain a new reward that pertains to the superstring that you have an oath with. The Agents tab is where you see the agents that you own. You can change around the items and skins your characters use in this tab. The Season tab is where you see your Season Pass, quests, and level up rewards. You can claim helpful rewards and unlock more items for your characters to use in battle from this tab. The Play tab is essentially your main lobby. You can choose the game mode that you would like to play, form parties with friends, and queue into matches from this tab. The Career tab is where you can view your match history and other miscellaneous stats about your account. The Store tab is where you buy new characters and skins. And as you might have guessed, there is also a gacha system. I feel like I should mention and warn you to not get addicted to rolling for skins if you don't have the financial means to do so. However, I am not your father, so do with that what you will. That is essentially all there is to be said about the tabs. Next, we will discuss the fundamentals of a character. As it was mentioned earlier, the characters in STRINOVA are known as superstrings. Each superstring is unique in terms of their design, the weapon that they carry, and the skills that they possess. Each superstring has health and armor. These are separate values and they require different methods of restoration. Armor can be increased, but health cannot. Superstrings have a primary weapon that is completely unique to them. This weapon may be of the same classification as another weapon, such as an assault rifle, a shotgun, or a sniper rifle, but they are all unique in their own way. Each character also possesses a passive skill, an active skill, and an ultimate skill. A passive skill is an effect that is applied to your character without needing any input to utilize. An active skill is a tool, action, buff, or otherwise that requires player input to utilize. An ultimate skill is just like an active skill, but it differs in terms of power and usability. Ultimate skills are much more powerful than an active skill and can turn the tide of a battle with ease. However, they are much more difficult to charge up to be used. This trade-off for power is balanced by the effort it takes to be able to use an ultimate skill. I hope that none of that was too confusing, but that's all for the characters for now. So, let's move on to the setting of STRINOVA. The game STRINOVA takes place in an imaginary future. In this future, humanity resides in the world of STRINOVA, shocker, a world that was discovered by humanity after ruin fell upon Earth. 3 factions that will be mentioned later formed in this new world, and their clan conflicts are what lead to the gameplay. The said gameplay takes place in the 4 modes that were mentioned previously, which will now be discussed in detail. In Demolition, the ranked game mode for STRINOVA, there is an attacking team and a defending team. The attacking team must deliver and plant a bomb at a site on the map, and it is the defending team's job to stop the bomb from being planted. If the bomb is planted, the defending team must then defuse the bomb. There are no infinite respawns in this mode, instead, there are rounds. You have 1 life per round unless you are revived by a certain character. The first team to win 9 rounds, or 7 rounds in unranked, wins the game. You are able to make purchases that give you upgrades in between rounds. The next game mode is Escort. In Escort, there is also a defending team and an attacking team. It is the role of the defending team to stop the attacking team from moving the payload to the checkpoint. The payload only moves when someone from the attacking team is escorting the payload and is uncontested by a member from the defending team. There is a time limit starting at 5 minutes for this game mode, and each time the payload reaches a checkpoint, there is an additional 3 minutes added to the total timer. There are 3 checkpoints, including the final destination for the payload. The attacking team wins when the payload reaches the final destination. There are infinite respawns in this game mode, and you are able to make purchases at any time as long as you are in the respawn area. That's about all there is to it when it comes to Escort, so let's move on to the next 2 game modes. In Team Deathmatch and Team Arena, you are focused on getting as many eliminations as you can. The way to win is to reach the elimination goal. The only real difference between these 2 modes is the structuring of the teams. In Team Deathmatch, there are 5 teams of 3 players racing to reach 50 eliminations. In Team Arena, there are 2 teams of 7 players racing to reach 50 eliminations. There are many small mechanical pieces within these 2 game modes that make them unique from other modes, such as Team Deathmatch having stat buffs for each time your team hits a certain elimination threshold, and Team Arena having permanent armor buffs for each character. Another difference is that ultimates are unusable in Team Deathmatch, but passive and active skills are usable. In Team Arena, you only have your passive skill to use. That's about all there is to be said about game modes in the setting of STRINOVA, so let's move on to character roles. The characters in STRINOVA come in 5 different classifications: duelists, controllers, sentinels, vanguards, and supporters. Each of these classes have different strengths and weaknesses that make them more unique in the way that they should be played. Duelists are essentially the main combatants on a team in STRINOVA. It is a duelist's main goal to secure as many eliminations as they can with the help of their skills that allow them to gain distinct advantages in doing so. Duelists have mainly close-quartered weapons and have skills that increase their stats, slow their enemies, and regenerate their own health. If you have enough experience, duelists can provide many exhilarating moments in-game. Controllers play a very disruptive role in-game. Controllers have many skills that lead them to excel in hindering opponents, skills such as disabling stringification in marked areas, obscuring vision with screens, creating slippery ice patches, and health-draining sandstorms. With a great duelist on your team, you can help to set up some incredible moments of teamwork that are paramount to your team's success. Supporters do exactly as one might expect: support the team. There are many ways a character can support their team, but supporters go a step beyond with their skills that are specially suited to helping their team. A supporter's skills are mostly healing-oriented, be it by regenerating health or restoring armor, as well as some that have properties that increase movement speed and rate of fire. A certain supporter character is also able to revive a fallen teammate. Sentinels are the main defenses of your team. Sentinels are somewhat similar to both controllers and supporters in the sense that they can both support allies and hinder enemies. With skills that can track enemies, lock down areas, and hinder an enemy's ability to aim, Sentinels can flex within their role to cover many different bases on a team. Last but not least, we have Vanguards. Vanguards are the recon experts of a team in STRINOVA. Vanguards excel in revealing enemies to their team, and are also quite competent fighters because of this intel. A Vanguard's skills are the reason for this, skills that have the potential to mark enemies from range. Vanguards also possess many stealth-oriented skills that aid their attempts at gaining intel. That essentially covers the different classifications of super strings in STRINOVA, so now we can go ahead and move on to the factions of STRINOVA. PUS, the Scissors, and Urbino are the 3 factions in STRINOVA, and they are just slightly more than lore implementations. For certain game modes, you may be restricted from playing your favorite character because they are from a different faction than the faction you are playing as in a match. Let's start off by discussing PUS. PUS is the officially recognized government of the STRINOVA world. PUS is an acronym for Painting Utopia Security. PUS rule over STRINOVA with their monopoly on Bablo Crystal technology, which is a theme in the lore of STRINOVA. PUS hopes to lead STRINOVA further into the future and sees no reason to return to Earth. Some goals they have are to retain the role of STRINOVA and to cure Collapse Syndrome. Collapse Syndrome seems to be a mysterious disease that affects superstrings. There seems to be no known leader of PUS at this time, but Nobunaga is the captain of the first investigative squad of PUS, so this information will have to do for now. Next up we have the Scissors. The Scissors is a military organization that is unhappy with the views and role of PUS and seeks to return to Earth. The name The Scissors is very obviously a play on the fact that scissors cut paper, and paper is a symbol for stringification, stringification being a feature of the New World which the scissors oppose. Your Honor, I believe STRINOVA is guilty of peak writing. Jokes aside though, the scissors believe that humanity should not abandon its past and should return to Earth. They seek to return to Earth using Bablo crystals. The scissors are led by Meredith. That is essentially all the information that you need to know about the scissors, so let's move on to the final faction, Urbino. Urbino is a company that is solely focused on exploring and researching the new world of STRINOVA. Urbino has a fascination with Bablo crystals and is researching them with the goal of achieving interdimensional travel. At the head of Urbino is Baimo. That covers all the factions in STRINOVA, so now we can start talking about secondaries and grenades. Each character has their own weapon, as well as a secondary weapon that can be used by any character and can also be switched out. There are also many types of different grenades. Because each character has their own unique primary weapon, I will be going over each weapon along with the character that the weapon belongs to. However, the secondaries and grenades will be covered in this section. The Stinger is a small SMG with an absurd rate of fire. It has decent damage at short range with a fair bit of recoil and a slight spread. If you can control it in close quarters, it can be devastating just on its own. The Ninjato is a sword. It does decent damage and is rather easy to control. The only catch is that it has an incredibly short range as it is a melee weapon. The upside to using this weapon is that it does not have a magazine, as it is a sword, meaning you don't have to reload. Next up we have the Athena. Athena is a semi-automatic pistol. It is just what you would expect from a small pistol. Good damage and a somewhat small magazine. Athena is a perfect choice for players who like the idea of the Stinger but prefer to have a bit more control over the weapon. Next up is the Ember Spit. Ember Spit is a miniature flamethrower, hence the name Ember Spit. Not much is able to be said about the Ember Spit, as it is rather self-explanatory. Finally, we have the Ignis. Ignis is a small shotgun. Ignis is perfect for characters who lack close range and also enjoy the heavy bursts of damage that Ignis provides. That covers all of the secondary weapons, so let's move on to the grenades. First up we have the Flashbang. The Flashbang is just what you would expect from a flashbang. Shortly after impact, the Flashbang temporarily blinds and deafens any characters who are in range and witness the flash. Next up we have the Frag Grenade. The Frag Grenade is a simple grenade that deals high damage in a small area after impact. The Healing Grenade is a grenade that heals. This healing grenade can heal multiple allies in a small area. Then we have the Interceptor. The Interceptor intercepts any enemy grenades that pass through the barrier that it creates. The Slow Grenade is a grenade that releases a large pool of paint. This paint greatly slows and string blocks any enemies that walk through it. The Smoke Bomb is a grenade that releases a large cloud of smoke that obscures both enemy and ally vision. The Tattletale is a small mine that makes a loud, obnoxious alarm noise whenever enemies pass by. And last but not least, we have the Windstorm Grenade. Shortly after impact, the Windstorm Grenade produces a large gust of wind that forcibly stringifies and floats all super strings within range of its winds. And with that, that is all secondaries and grenades within STRINOVA at the time of the game's release. To start off, I would like to thank you for watching this video. No matter if you used the timestamps in the description to skip around to the parts that you needed to watch, or if you just watched the whole video as you ate, relaxed, or even played STRINOVA in the background, I want to thank you. I do not believe that I've ever been this excited for the release of a game since Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is now my favorite game of all time. I hope that I may have influenced you to check out STRINOVA for yourself at the time of the official launch. Furthermore, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and that my passion for this project has come through. I started this project on October 21st, and I finished the script for the video on November 18th, which is just under a month's worth of work. This video, however, was probably done the day before it went out. Either way, I have poured countless hours into this and I hope that you appreciate it. If this video gets enough traction, I will continue to upload and potentially even start streaming some STRINOVA content for you. So if that is something that you would be interested in, please share this video to as many people as you can. Not just for my sake, but for STRINOVA's sake as well. But you should like and subscribe for my sake regardless. Anyways, that is all that I have for you today. Let me know if I missed any crucial information in the comments below, and let me know if you will be playing STRINOVA for yourself. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again.